Welcome to Holistic Process Design Hub. Our motto is building a safer and smarter tomorrow in process engineering. So friends, today we are discussing on very crucial topic, water network and sprinkler design and their consideration. In today's lecture, we will cover several topics like introduction of fire water network, Indian standard used while designing the fire network system, the design criteria that must be considered during the design process, the amount of water supply required for effective firefighting, types of sprinklers, and then specific design consideration. So let's begin with introduction. So friends, first of all, one question come to our mind. Why? Why are fire safety system needed in our plant? While these systems are designed to detect, control, and extinguish fire before they can cause significant harm to asset or human lives. Now let's discuss the importance of fire water network and sprinkler system. The fire water network ensures a reliable water supply for firefighting effort. This includes extinguisher, hydrants, pipelines, and storage tanks, all designed to deliver water to different parts of building or facility where it is needed most. On the other hand, the sprinkler system is also an integral part of network system. It plays a vital role in minimizing damage and providing protection from fire. So friends, in India, compliance with IS standard is legal requirement under various regulations. These standards are referenced in several statutory and legal documents such as National Building Code (NBC), Factories Act 1948, and Fire Safety Act. These all legal documents require compliance with IS standard. So we are designing firefighting system as per IS standard only. So IS 884 is used for firefighting hose reel. This standard deals with specification for hose reel used in firefighting. It ensures that hoses can handle high pressure and remain durable under extreme conditions. IS 13039 is used for external hydrant system provision and maintenance. This standard covers the provision, installation, and maintenance of external hydrant system, which are critical for providing an immediate water source during a fire emergency. IS 636 is used for specification of firefighting flexible hose. It defines the standard for fire hose that are easy to handle and flexible, while also being strong and capable of withstanding high pressure. Another one is IS 15683, which is used for portable fire extinguisher, performance and construction. This standard focuses on the performance requirement and construction specification of portable fire extinguisher to ensure they are effective and reliable. IS 15105 is used for design and installation of fixed automatic sprinkler system. It provides a guideline for designing and installing automatic sprinkler system, which are essential for every fire supervision and building and facility. IS 15325 is used for design and installation of medium velocity water spray system. This standard outlines the requirement for designing and installing MVWS system, which are crucial for protecting against the fire hazard, particularly in area with flammable liquid or gases. So let's now discuss for designing criteria for fire water network. When designing a fire water network, it is essential to follow specific criteria to ensure maximum safety and efficiency. Let's break down the key elements involved in this process. The first one is deciding the types of fire hazard. There are mainly three types of hazard defined by IS 13039. The first one is light hazard. These cover the minimal fire risk such as office building or school, where the fire load is very low. Another one is ordinary hazard. This category includes location with moderate fire risk like warehouse or factories where combustible material are stored or handled but are not highly flammable. Third one is high hazard. This area with high fire risk such as chemical plant, or oil refineries fall into this category due to the presence of highly flammable substance and complex process. Understanding the type of hazard is the first step in deciding a fire water network because it indicates the amount of water and the type of firefighting system required. The second is deciding water supply requirement. The next critical factor is determining the water supply for firefighting system. According to Indian standard, especially IS 15105, the storage capacity for fire water must be adequate to meet the peak demand during a fire. This storage should account for both active firefighting needs such as hydrant and sprinkler system, reserve capacities to ensure water is available for extended period if needed. The fire water storage must be sized correctly to handle the worst case scenario, ensuring that firefighting efforts are never compromised due to lack of water. Another design criteria for fire water network is hydrant placement and spacing. Proper placement and spacing of fire hydrant are essential for quick and effective firefighting. Fire hydrants should be single-headed, standing about 1 meter above the ground. They must be equipped with isolation valve in the main fire water ring, along with pressure gauge at key location for easy monitoring. So, how much spacing is required between fire hydrants? Let's discuss. Hydrants should be placed around process unit at a maximum spacing of 45 meters to ensure the adequate coverage. Each hydrant will be mounted on a 3-inch stand post with a 3-inch butterfly isolation valve at the bottom. Which accessory required with fire hydrant? Let's now elaborate. A hose box must be provided next to each hydrant. Each hose box should contain 2 nodes of fire hoses with a 63 mm outlet nozzle with 50 meter long length. One triple purpose nozzle is required into the hose box. This nozzle should be capable of discharging a minimum 900 liters per minute of water at pressure of 7 kg per centimeter square gauge. This setup ensures that the fire hydrant system is ready to deliver high capacity water flow whenever needed. Now let's learn about placement of fire extinguisher. Proper placement of fire extinguisher is critical to ensuring quick access and efficient fire control. According to IS 15683, fire extinguisher mapping should be strategically planned. Let's look at the key guideline for placing fire extinguisher. In areas with pump, which are often prone to mechanical or electrical malfunction, 1 6 kg portable fire extinguisher must be provided every 15 meters. For areas such as control room, substation, and location near electrical equipment, fire risks are often due to electrical fault or overheating. In this area, 2 portable CO2 fire extinguisher of 4.5 kg capacity each must be located within every 250 square meter. Alternatively, the maximum traveling distance to a fire extinguisher should not exceed 15 meters. So next design criteria for fire water network is deciding the type of installation for sprinkler system. When choosing the right sprinkler system for building or facility, it's important to understand the different type of installation available. Let's explore the 4 common types of sprinkler system. The first one is wet system. It is most commonly used, least expensive. Its piping is always filled with water, and water being to flow from system immediately if sprinkler head is activated. It's problematic if sprinkler head is broken or activated accidentally. It can't be used in location that may be freeze. Another system is dry system. Its pipes are filled with pressurized air instead of water. Upon activation of sprinkler head, air escapes from the pipe and pressure in piping drops suddenly and the water flows from the other end of clapper valve into the system. reaching the activated sprinkler head. Good for locations that may freeze, accelerate, and exhauster can be installed to decrease time between air release and water arrival, which should not more than 19 seconds. Third system is deluxe system. It's a dry system, and upon activation, the water will release and flow through all sprinkler heads. All sprinklers head are always open into the deluxe system. Activation of deluxe valve can occur by a detection system or manually. It is used where rapid fire damage is major concern. The last one is pre-action system. It is also a dry type system. Singular difference requires that a secondary device must be activated before water is released into the system. The secondary device is like smoke detector or manual pull alarm. Third one is utilize a deluxe valve that will not release without the secondary device activation. It is more expensive system, and this system meant to prevent accidental discharge of water. Now let's move on to the next design criteria for sprinkler system. It's pipe sizing. For ordinary hazard system, pipe sizing is determined using a standard table, where the line size depends on the number of sprinklers connected to that line. To better understand this, let's take a look at specific example. As you can see in this figure of sprinkler header, it contains 2 sprinklers. According to the table, a line with 2 sprinklers would require 1 each pipe. Next, look at the main header. It contains 4 sprinklers on it. Referring to the same table, a line with 4 sprinklers would needed a 1.5 each pipeline. In summary, the pipe sizing for sprinkler system in ordinary hazard application is directly depend on the number of sprinklers on this line. This ensures that each sprinkler gets a sufficient water flow in the event of a fire. So friends, let's now discuss about firefighting water supply. An effective firefighting water supply is critical for ensuring quick and adequate response to fire emergencies. There are 2 main factors to consider: storage requirement and types of pump use. First one is storage requirement. The capacity of water storage must be adhered to guidelines set by Indian Standard 15105. Here are key considerations. First one is capacity. The storage capacity should be calculated based on peak water demand, which depends on the size of building, its occupancy, and the potential fire hazard. Storage tanks must be large enough to handle worst-case fire scenario and allow for future expansion and increased demand. Second one is minimum supply time. The water supply must be capable of providing enough water for minimum 90 minutes during a firefighting operation. This ensures that the system can support firefighting effort without running out of water. The second factor of fire water supply is type of pump used in firefighting. There are several types of pump commonly used in firefighting system to maintain the water pressure and flow required for effective firefighting. First one is centrifugal pump. These are the most common type of pump used in firefighting system. Centrifugal pumps are reliable, efficient, and capable of moving large volume of water quickly to support the firefighting effort. Another type of pump is jockey pump. Jockey pumps are smaller pumps designed to maintain pressure in the firefighting system when no active firefighting is taking place. This pump prevents the main fire pump from starting unnecessarily due to minor pressure drop in the system. Jockey pump ensuring the system remains pressurized at all times. Third pump is diesel engine driven fire pump. These pumps are powered by diesel engine, making them ideal for situations where electric power may be unavailability during an emergency. Diesel engine pump ensure that water can still be delivered to the fire system even in the event of power failure, providing additional reliability to the firefighting infrastructure. Let's now discuss about sprinkler types. Sprinkler systems are a critical part of fire safety, and choosing the right type of sprinkler for each environment is essential. There are several types of sprinkler heads, each designed to work in different situations. Let's go over the most common type. First, conventional pattern sprinkler. The conventional pattern sprinkler discharges water in a conical spray pattern, covering both ceiling and the floor. It's designed to work well in general building area and provide broad coverage. Another one is spray pattern sprinkler. The spray pattern sprinkler focuses on covering a large surface area by spraying water in a wide downward pattern. This type is commonly used in commercial building and space with open layout, ensuring quick and effective fire suppression. The third one is side wall pattern sprinkler. The side wall sprinkler is designed to be installed on a vertical wall and discharge water in a half circle pattern, effectively covering the room. These are commonly used in corridors, small rooms, and area where ceiling installation isn't practical. Let's now discuss about design consideration for sprinkler system. When designing a sprinkler system, two key factors must be considered: design density and pump selection. These considerations ensure that the system delivers sufficient water and pressure for effective fire suppression based on hazard level. First, the design density. Design density is amount of water in liter per minute delivered per square meter of area during fire suppression. It varies depending on hazard level. There are following: light hazard. Minimum design density required is 2.25 liter per minute per meter square. Area of maximum operation for light hazard is 84 meter square. This density is used in environment with minimal fire risk such as office or hospital. Another type of hazard is moderate hazard. For moderate hazard, minimum density is 5 liter per minute per meter square and area of maximum operation is 360 meter square. This density is suitable for area with moderate fire risk like factories or warehouse with low flammable material storage. Another type of hazard is higher hazard. For higher hazard, minimum density required is 9 liter per minute per meter square and the area of maximum operation is 260 meter square. This density applied in area with high fire risk such as industrial plant dealing with hazardous material. Another key factor is pump selection. The pump capacity and delivery pressure are crucial for ensuring adequate water supply to the sprinkler. Here's how they differ based on the nature of risk. First, light hazard. For light hazard, pump capacity required is 13 liter per second. That's mean 110 meter cube per hour. Ensure that for light hazard, delivery pressure is 5.6 kg per centimeter square gauge. For moderate hazard, pump capacity required is 47 liter per second or 171 meter cube per hour. Ensure that for moderate hazard, pump delivery pressure is 7 kg per centimeter square gauge minimum. And for higher hazard, pump capacity is 114 liter per second or 410 meter cube per hour. Ensure that for higher hazard, minimum pressure of pump is 7 to 8.8 kg per centimeter square gauge. This selection ensures the system maintains the correct pressure and flow rate for effective firefighting, depending on the level of risk present. Now, let's discuss the spacing between sprinkler head and how much area each sprinkler can cover based on level of hazard. Proper spacing ensure optimal fire suppression and prevent gap in coverage. For light hazard, maximum distance between two sprinkler head is 4.5 meters and each sprinkler can cover area of 21 meters square. This setup is suitable for space with low fire risk such as office or residential building, where fewer sprinklers are needed for sufficient protection. Another one is for moderate hazard. The maximum distance between two sprinkler head is 4 meters. Each sprinkler can cover an area of 12 meters square. This is ideal for area with moderate fire risk like warehouse or commercial space, where tighter spacing ensure faster fire response. Another one is for higher hazard. The maximum distance between two sprinkler head is 3.7 meters. Each sprinkler can cover the area of 10 meters square. In area with fire hazards such as industrial plant or location with flammable material, the closer spacing ensures the sprinkler provide enough coverage and water flow to suppress any fire quickly. Let's now discuss about sprinkler orifice size and K factor. The K factor is critical parameter used to determine the performance of sprinkler, especially related to the flow rate through the sprinkler head. To calculate the K factor, we use the following equation. K is equal to Q under root P, where K is equal to K factor, Q is equal to flow through the sprinkler orifice liter per minute, and P is equal to pressure at the entry point of sprinkler. After calculating the K factor, we can select appropriate orifice size based on the value provided in the table below. We will cover the calculation of K factor and degree of angle for sprinkler in our next video. Let's now discuss about temperature rating and color coding. Sprinkler systems are equipped with temperature-sensitive bulbs that break when exposed to heat, allowing water to flow and suppress a fire. The temperature rating of a sprinkler is critical, as it indicates the heat level required to activate the sprinkler. The temperature rating of sprinkler must be at least 30 degrees Celsius higher than the highest anticipated temperature at the installation location. Each sprinkler bulb contains a liquid that changes color based on its temperature rating, making it easier to identify in the field. Here, how the temperature rating correlates the color of bulb liquid is mentioned. So friends, if you have any queries, please mention in the comment box and we will get back to you with resolution. So